Hi y'all, I'm Taylor. This is my dog Cooper. He is a 6-year-old Australian Shepherd. And today I'm gonna teach you the first 5 things you need to teach your brand new puppy to set them up for success and make them into a well-behaved dog. Really quick, a little bit about me is that I've been a professional dog trainer since 2019. I've loved dogs my entire life. I raised this guy since he was a little tiny puppy, and literally anytime I take him outside, people will stop and tell me he is the most well-behaved dog they've literally ever seen. I also have 2 cats. This one is Leo, the other one is too shy to be on camera, but her name is Sassy. You may recognize me from TikTok, where I've shared my dog training advice for about 2 years now, but now I'm bringing all of it to YouTube in long form format because I am motivated by making dog training so much more easier to understand and accessible as well. It doesn't need to be expensive to work. That's why these videos are completely free for you to watch. All I ask is that you show me some support by liking this video, subscribing to me, and if you have an ad, watch it all the way through, please. Yeah, let's get into it. So obviously I don't have an 8-week-old puppy. I have a 6-year-old dog, but I think you'll understand just the same. We will be setting them up for success by teaching them to follow a food lure, getting their attention off something and on you, and then a general crate and potty training and getting them used to all the different noises and sights and stuff like that. So it's more about management than it is training from 8 to 10 weeks. So the first thing I want you to do, and you'll hear me say this all the time, is I want you to leash up your puppy. Now, they're not used to having a collar on them, nor are they used to having a leash, but you need to get them used to it. So the best way to do that is to build positive associations, aka putting the leash on while we feed some treats. Now, you know that regular schmegular dog bowl that you're probably used to feeding your dog's food out of? Just put it aside because you're going to be feeding all of your puppy's meals in a treat pouch. Basically, I want you to put your puppy's kibble in this, and you can even sprinkle a few treats in it as well. I am using this Bakki's Bakery, I could be mispronouncing that, in the beef and cheddar recipe. So the very first thing I want you to teach your dog when they come home is how to follow a food lure. And that looks like this. You're gonna take a treat in your hand. You're gonna put it as close as you can to their nose, not up here, they're gonna jump for it, but close to their nose like it's a magnet. And when they move towards your hand, I want you to feed it to them. And what I want you to start to do is pair this with the words this way, this way. There is a huge reason why I am not teaching an 8-week-old puppy how to sit first, because there really is no real world situations where I really need my dog to sit. Instead, a lot of the times, having a 6-year-old dog, I would know, is you want them to take their focus off of something. Maybe you're walking them down the street and they see a dog or another person, or even if somebody is knocking on your door, I want to be able to say, this way, and they leave it, right? And in the beginning, you're really just asking them to move a few inches away from you. But once they get better at it, increase that distance like this way. Good job. A common mistake I see a lot of people make is they lift it too high and the puppy ends up jumping for it. If your puppy's jumping for it, do not feed them the treat. Take it away and start over at nose level. Now we are perfectly primed for number 2, which is teaching them their name. Even before I start this, I'm gonna get the most common mistake out of the way so that you don't make it. Please do not repeat their name over and over and over. Be patient with them. Wait 10 seconds before you repeat it again, and try to catch yourself doing this because it's hard at first. But when you repeat their name over and over, Cooper, 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 he's going to think he needs to hear it 4 or 5 times before he actually comes. So instead, I want you to just say it, take your treat again. This is too far away for the puppy to even know. They have a short attention span. Put it right up to their nose and say, Cooper. Good job. Simple. We're rewarding movement. And yes, it is completely fine if your puppy just moves their head towards you at first. That's okay. After that, we can start to ask them, Cooper, to move, like step towards it. And just like number 1, we are practicing a few inches away, and then we're gonna go a few feet away, and then maybe the entire room. So set them up for success and move slowly along that, okay? Now, quick tip, if your puppy is biting you really strong with his sharp little baby teeth, what I want you to do is if teeth touch your fingers, even if they just graze by him, I want you to take the treat away. Instead, you can offer it with an open palm so they lick it out. Number 3 is all about crate training. It is your job to teach your dog how to relax their brain. If you were parenting a teenager and they came to you and said, hey mom or dad, I am feeling so overwhelmed and so stressed right now. There's like no way I can get anything done. I don't know what to do because I'm feeling so wild in my head right now. What would you tell them? Maybe you would try to get them to meditate or at least lay down and close their eyes for a little bit. Just because our dogs can't talk to us doesn't mean they don't experience stress and anxiety. There are a lot of ways you could tell if your dog is experiencing these things. Your dog is going to experience those things and he needs something to do, aka somewhere to go, so that he knows how to relax his brain. And what that is the crate. Here are some examples of crate setups that I really recommend you do if you're bringing home an 8 to 10 week old puppy. Now in this crate setup, you basically have a play pen that has 3 things inside of it. A play area, a potty area, and a sleep area, which is an actual kennel. You don't want to make this area too big, but you want to make it small enough to where these areas are defined and there's really no like other space other than those 3 areas. And let me just say this, it is way easier to prevent bad behaviors from happening than it is to fix them later on. And what I mean by that is if you do not have this playpen set up and you have your dog just willy-nilly running around your house, you're not doing any crate training, then your dog's gonna go to the bathroom on one side of the room and basically have no structure, and you are left having to correct that bad behavior when you could have just prevented it from the get-go. I do have a short form video on crate training schedule on my TikTok. You can go over there and look under the dog training playlist. And we have to trust them in a smaller space before we can trust them in a bigger space, if that makes sense. Moving to number 4, we have a good old potty training. You have to get on top of potty training before it gets on top of you. I highly recommend keeping your dog on a leash when they are inside the house. If you're not able to do that, maybe you're running around the whole house and you don't want to keep them on leash, put them back in their playpen because they have a designated potty spot in there. One of the biggest mistakes that I see with potty training is that there really is just no schedule going into it at all. I do have a short form video on TikTok about a potty training schedule because it is that important. Basically, if you have an 8-week-old dog, they can hold their bladder for about 1 hour. After they drink water, it's gonna take them 30 seconds or a minute to go to the bathroom. So I want you to get on a schedule where every hour you are taking out your dog. You could just take the water away at nighttime so you don't have to do that at night. But during the day, when they have access to water, you are taking them out every hour. And then when they are 10 weeks old, maybe you go up to every 2 hours, and then 12 weeks old, every 3 hours. Do you see what I mean by that? I want you to take your puppy out enough times so that even they understand they have an opportunity every hour or 2 to go outside, and therefore they won't make the accidents on your floor. One of the biggest common mistakes I see in puppy training is you take your puppy outside to go to the bathroom, but then when you take them inside, they go to the bathroom on the floor. In order to fix that, or just to make sure it doesn't happen to you, I want you to take your puppy to the same square of grass every single time you go outside. Now, if you live in an apartment like me and your brand new puppy doesn't have all their shots, 2 alternatives for you. Use puppy pads for now and then transition them to using grass when they do have their shots. Or number 2, use one of those fake grass pads that you can get on Amazon. I've never used them personally, but they seem like a really good option. When you take your dog to the same square of grass or the potty pad after they eat and drink, don't forget to put them on a leash, get them used to their leash, and I want you to just ignore them while they do their business. They might do a little bit of sniffing. They may even try to play with your pants. I want you to just turn your body away and watch out of the corner of your eye. Don't need to be holding treats. You don't need any of that. Just give them their space to do their business. Once they've done their business, unleash the leash and play, or bring them back inside and play. Bring a toy out, give them a reward, but you don't have to physically hold it while they're going to the bathroom because that may distract them. And last but not least, we are at tip number 5, and that is socialization, the right kind. Because yeah, there is a wrong way to socialize your dog, and I'll just tell you right now, it's going to the dog park. Dog parks suck. But you don't need to worry about that because you have an 8-week-old puppy and they don't need to be going anywhere unless you're holding them or you get a stroller. The most critical point in a dog's life is that socialization period from 0 to 10 weeks old. Actually, a lot of people say till 8 weeks old. So once you've gotten your dog, they're pretty much already socialized to everything they saw before they were 8 weeks old and heard and smelled. I'm talking sounds, I'm talking people, I'm talking different textures on their paws, carpet, floor, concrete, inside a building, outside in a large field of grass, meeting all different kinds of people, tall people, big people, small people, babies, kids, everything. You want to socialize your puppy to as much as you possibly can when you first get them, that first 2 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks. Do everything you can to get them around other things, people, places, pets, or even better, put up some YouTube videos of fireworks, of dogs barking, of cats hissing, of trash cans and the loud traffic noises and nature noises. I'll put an entire list right here. Just take a screenshot and make sure you're going through each and every one of them. Even better, have all your friends come visit this new puppy. I want friends that are tall, big, small, wearing a hat, wearing a mask, in a wheelchair, walking with a cane. Have you ever seen an older dog, maybe like Cooper's age, around 6 or 7, that has never seen somebody in a wheelchair before and they freak out when they do? It's because they were never shown that as a puppy, and now they're looking at it like they don't even know if it's a good or bad thing. But at this point in your puppy's life, their brain is like a sponge. They're soaking up all the information and they have a pretty positive outlook on life. So I want you to take advantage of that and do what you can to put them around all of these things. So like I said, I designed this so that if you practice this in order, you will have such a well-behaved dog. I mean, around 10 weeks, we're gonna start introducing more like actual training, like look at me, sit, wait, stuff like that. If y'all want me to make a video like that, let me know and I will, because I really want to give you like a structured, like what to do in what order, just to make it so simple for you. And I want to leave you with this: 5 things to avoid when bringing home your brand new puppy. Not crate training them. Don't do that. You want to crate train them. Trust me. Number 2, letting them run loose inside when no one's watching. Let's say everybody has a full-time job and you're gonna have to leave the puppy for just a few hours and you just let him be. Well, you're gonna come home and all your stuff is gonna be pottied on and or chewed up. So don't do that, get a playpen. Number 3, not socializing them. I understand that your puppy doesn't have his shots yet. That is okay. We can utilize YouTube. You can have friends come over. You can make a lot of these noises yourself by clapping your hands or playing those YouTube videos. Like, get creative with it. Number 4, not picking up your puppy. Touch them everywhere. I want them to get used to being touched on their butt, on their paws, under their ears, on their collar, and even getting them used to wearing a leash. And last but not least, number 5, do not get frustrated. I want you to remember that your puppy is just 8 weeks old. It is normal to feel frustrated, yes, but you don't need to let out that frustration on your puppy. They don't know anything. And the last thing you want is for them to be fearful of you. You're not gonna get anything positive done if they're scared of you. Do not yell at them. Be patient with them and love them with your whole heart. Because one day they will be 6 years old and be the best, most well-trained dog you've ever had. Say bye.